There's a moment that happens in almost every kitchen, every single day. You're making breakfast, and down by your feet is a dog who has perfected a look. You know the one. So you tear off a corner of your toast, and you hand it down, and you get that thump of the tail, and honestly, that little moment is one of the nicest parts of the morning. Or it's dinner, and there's a bit left on the plate, and it feels wrong to just scrape it in the trash. So it goes in his bowl instead. Or he did something sweet, so he gets one more treat than usual. Because look at him. I want to be really clear about something before we go one step further. None of that comes from carelessness. It comes from love. The people who slip their dogs a little extra are the people who absolutely adore them. That's the whole reason it happens. But here's the quiet truth. And it's the reason I wanted to make this one. A handful of very ordinary foods, nothing exotic, nothing you'd think twice about, can quietly speed up how fast your dog ages. Not because they're poison, just because, given the way we tend to give them, a little too much of an okay thing over a lot of years adds up. So today I want to walk you through 6 of them. And I promise you this. For every single one, I'm going to give you an easy swap you can make this week. No guilt, no throwing anything out, no putting your dog on some strict diet. Just small, painless changes that can buy back some good time. I'm Dr. Nora Bennett, and this is Old Dog, Good Life. And stay with me to the end, because the 6th one isn't really a food at all. It's the one I'd fix first, and it costs you nothing. Number 1. The endless good boy treats. This is the gentlest trap there is, because it's built entirely out of affection. A treat for coming inside, a treat for sitting, a treat because you walked past the jar and he looked at you. Each one is tiny. That's exactly why we don't count them. But those little biscuits add up across a day and across a day after day. And in an older dog, extra weight isn't just extra weight. It's extra load on aging joints, an aging heart, tired kidneys. It's the single most common way we accidentally shorten the good years, one loving biscuit at a time. Here's the swap, and it's an easy one. Each morning, count out the day's treats and set them in a little cup on the counter. When they're gone, they're gone. And you'd be amazed how fast you get used to it. Better yet, use a few pieces of his own dinner kibble as treats through the day. To him, a piece of food from your hand is a prize no matter what it is. It's the giving he loves, not the biscuit. Number 2. The plate scrapings. We've all done it. There's a little left after dinner, and scraping it into the bin feels wasteful, so it goes in the dog bowl instead. The problem is that our leftovers tend to be the rich part, the fatty bit of the meat, the buttery vegetables, the gravy. That's a lot of fat and a lot of salt landing on top of a full day's food. Over time, that steady drip of rich, fatty extras is hard on an older dog's system in ways you don't see until you do. So instead of the plate scrapings, keep a few dog-safe plain vegetables ready. A bit of plain cooked carrot, a little plain green bean. He still gets the ritual of something special after dinner. It's just something that loves him back. Number 3. The couch snacks. This is the evening one. You're on the sofa with a bag of chips or crackers or something salty, and of course a piece finds its way over to the dog. It's cozy. It's togetherness. I get it completely, but heavily processed human snacks are packed with salt and things a dog's aging body just doesn't need much of. And couch time is sneaky because it's relaxed and it's repeated, night after night. The swap keeps the togetherness and loses the salt. Keep a jar of plain, dog-safe, crunchy vegetables right there by the couch. Something he can crunch on while you have yours. Same ritual, same closeness, a fraction of the cost to his body. Number 4. Fatty meat, skin and trimmings. When you trim the fat off a steak or pull the skin off the chicken, It feels like the perfect thing to hand to the dog. It's the part we don't want, and he wants it desperately. But that fatty trim is one of the richest things he can eat. And in an older dog, a system that's slowing down doesn't handle that load the way a young dog's did. You don't have to cut out meat. Dogs love it, and it's good for them. Just make it the lean, plain, well-cooked kind, in small amounts. A little piece of plain cooked chicken without the skin is a wonderful treat. It's the fat and the trimmings we want to ease off of, not the meat itself. Number 5, the sweet stuff. A corner of a cookie, a lick of ice cream on a hot day, a bite of something sweet, because it's a nice thing to share. The sugar in human sweets does an older dog no favors. It feeds weight gain, and it does nothing good for the body over time. The lovely thing here is that dogs don't actually need dessert to be sweet the way we make it. A small piece of a dog-safe fruit, a little apple without the seeds, a couple of blueberries, hits that same, here's a special sweet treat note, and his body actually gets something out of it. And before I give you number 6, if you've been listening to this and quietly recognizing your own kitchen, I want you to hear me. You are not a bad owner. You're the kind of person who shares their breakfast with their dog. That's a good heart. All we're doing today is pointing that same love in a slightly better direction. If that's the kind of thing you want more of, calm, honest, no scare tactics, subscribe, and I'll keep them coming. Now, number 6, the one I'd fix first. Number 6 isn't a food at all. It's simply the amount. More than any single treat or scrap, the thing that quietly ages dogs is just too much food, overall. The bowl that gets topped up before it's empty. The scoop that's become a heaping scoop. Food left down all day, so he grazes whenever he likes. It's the most common one, and it's the easiest one to miss, because there's no single villain. It's just a little too much, all the time. And it's the easiest thing in the world to fix. You don't need a special diet. You just need to measure. Use an actual measuring cup, feed a level amount, and feed it to your dog's body rather than to the top of the bowl. Here's what I mean by that. Run your hands along his sides. You want to feel his ribs under a light cover. There, but not sharp. And you want to see a bit of a waist when you look down at him from above. Feed to that. If the waist is disappearing, ease the amount down a little. If you can see every rib, ease it up. That one change, measuring the bowl, is free. It takes 10 seconds, and it may be the single most powerful thing on this entire list. So let's bring the 6 together. Notice what none of those were. None of them were about being careless. Every one of them was about a moment of love that we can make just a little bit kinder to his body. And here's the part I really want you to take with you. An older dog's body is forgiving. It is genuinely not too late. You don't need to overhaul everything, and you certainly don't need to feel bad about the last few years. Start with one swap this week. Measure the bowl, that's the one I'd pick. And you have already given your dog something real. Before you change your dog's food, though, do have a quick word with your own vet, especially if he has any health condition or takes anything regularly. What I can do here is help you ask better questions. Your vet is the one who actually knows your dog. You didn't fail him. You loved him. And now you get to love him just a little smarter. So go find your dog. Maybe skip the extra biscuit tonight. And give him a good long scratch behind the ears instead. He'll take that trade every single time. I'm Dr. Nora Bennett. This is Old Dog. Good life. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Dr. Nora Bennett is a character created with AI. This channel is educational only and is not veterinary advice. If you're worried about your dog, please talk to your own vet.